In a previous video, I talked about what quarks were, the components of hadrons. But what are hadrons? There are two types of hadrons, baryons and mesons. Baryons are made of three quarks, and mesons are made of a quark and an antiquark. First, the baryons. There are 40 known baryons. All of them, except protons and neutrons, decay in less than a second, though. The reason they decay is because the quarks in them decay. Top quarks decay into bottom quarks decay into charm quarks decay into strange quarks, and strange quarks decay into up quarks. Each decay happens in less than a millisecond. Protons and neutrons don't decay because they're made of up and down quarks. Up quarks are stable. That means that they don't decay. Down quarks on their own decay into up quarks in 900 seconds. The reason that they don't decay in neutrons and protons is that since they're bound together in the baryon and decaying would tear the baryon apart, it would take more energy to decay than not to decay. All hadrons eventually decay into protons, neutrons, and leptons, and antileptons. This is because as the quarks decay into up and down quarks, leptons and antileptons are emitted through the weak force. Next are the mesons. All 27 mesons decay in under a second. Some decay into photons, but that only happens if the quark is in a meson with its corresponding antiquark. Most mesons decay into pions or leptons or antileptons. What are pions? There are three types of pions: positive, neutral, and negative. Positive pions are made of an up quark and an anti-down quark. They decay into an antimuon and a muon neutrino. Neutral pions are made of either an up quark and an anti-up quark, or a down quark and an anti-down quark. They decay into photons. Finally, negative pions are made of an anti-up quark and a down quark. They decay into a muon and an anti-muon neutrino. After the pions decay into muons and antimuons, the muons and antimuons decay into electrons, anti-electrons, and more neutrinos. Because of this, all mesons eventually decay into electrons, anti-electrons, neutrinos, and antineutrinos, and photons. Overall, hadrons other than protons and neutrons are quick to decay. The decay path of these particles are interesting to observe. Here is the decay path of a Xi baryon. Particle decay is an interesting subject. I will talk about it in a future video.